What's on the bench today? Well, we're working on the 1932 Gibson L-1 and got it just about ready to start putting back together. Working on buffing out the top right now. I'm using Meguiar's Mirror Glaze Ultra Finishing Polish and really brought the sheen back into this. I think I'm going to do it one more time, and that should really bring a shine to it. The frets all look good. There's one little dent in the fret right there. That's pretty awesome for original frets from 1932. The fretboard cleaned up nicely. Found all but one bushing for it, so I made one over here, and it doesn't have the lip on the outside of it, but it at least has something inside of there to support the barrel. And so that's the most important thing. I mean, these things are kind of floppy anyway. That's just the nature of these tuners, and I'll tighten up the screws as much as I can get them. Yeah, this thing's cleaning up nicely, and as you can see, it's got the tailpiece is really nice and shiny now. Even this piece cleaned up pretty well, as bad of shape as the nickel plating is in, so pretty happy with that. All right, so now that I've got the top buffed, and I'm gonna work on the back and sides a little bit, but I wanted to show you guys, I'm going to put Renaissance wax on the guitar, and that is a microcrystalline wax, and they use this in museums to protect just about everything. It just puts a protective layer on here, and it's really hard to buff off, but it's worth it because it just preserves the beauty of this. So it works really good on lacquer actually, and helps keep it from cracking and whatever, and this thing's got minimal lacquer checking to it, so I want to keep it that way. So anyway, I just wanted to show that. I'll bring you back when it's all shined up. So with Renaissance wax, you just put a light layer of it on there, and then you buff it off just like you would normal, but you don't want it to harden like you do regular wax. You basically want to put it on and take it right off. All right, so you can see how much more shiny it is with that Renaissance wax on there, and this stuff will last forever as long as you take care of the instrument. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the rest of the instrument done, and then we're gonna throw strings on this thing and start working on the setup. One thing I'm doing to the back here, and I didn't have to do this, but I am, is I'm taking some toner or some lacquer that's got toner in it, and just kind of going over the crack here because some of the lacquer is chipped away, and then I will go over it and wet sand it down a little bit with 1000 grit and make it level again. And you're always going to be able to see where the crack was, but it'll kind of mask the repair a little bit, and it'll seal the paint from chipping away anymore. All right, so it doesn't look very pretty right now, but it's gonna blend in well. Got a couple little spots where I'm gonna have to fill in just a little bit more, one right here and a little bit right in there, but it'll be a pretty good color match when this thing gets all wet sanded and buffed. So it's just the steps you gotta go through when you're working on stuff like this, and it works really good actually. All right, I did a little wet sand to it, and there was a couple spots that were lighter, so I just did one coat kind of all the way across, and that should blend it pretty well. So after this dries, I'll go ahead and re-wet sand it and then buff everything, and I mean, you'll be able to see it kind of, but not like it was with all the paint chipping off. So anyway, that's where we're at. I'll bring you back when it's all nice and shiny. All right. Doesn't that look much better than what it was? You can still see a few spots, but you know, compared to having all of that gone, much better. So now I'm gonna go ahead and finish buffing this out and wax it up with Renaissance wax, and it should be ready to put strings on. All right, nice and shiny, and just like the rest of the guitars. So, oh, I missed a spot here. See, that's why I like putting this stuff on camera, because if you miss a spot, you'll see it. Anyway, neck's all nice and shiny. Tuners are all tightened and oiled, so she's ready to throw some strings on. All right, still got to give it a haircut, but it needs a little bit of setup work. But all in all, this thing turned out really well. Archtop sounds beautiful. It's got its own unique kind of sound. It doesn't sound like a regular flat top. It doesn't sound like a resonator guitar. It sounds like an archtop. With the wraparound tailpiece and the silken steel strings, the string tension is really low on this, and I like that. I didn't even have to touch the truss rod yet, and I don't think I'm gonna. But yeah, so let it sit for a few days with the strings on it. Just because it hasn't had strings on it in a long time, make sure the neck joint's not going to pop loose, or you know, the neck's going to banana up or whatever. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been fun to do this guitar, and an honor because, you know, I brought it back to life. And so anyway, have a great day, and thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe.